Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, kindly hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification button so that when I drop a video, you'll be the first to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, Charlie, the love is deep. Chai, you guys are too much. Thank you for always coming through for a sister. It's episode 2 of the reunion of the Pepper Dem gang. These guys are Pepper, I ain't gonna lie. But guess what? I got the tea for you. Just enjoy. So to kickstart the show, Ebuka asked that the house guests pick up a board and a marker and write the kind of pepper they think they served in the house. Most of them actually wrote Tatashi. And I quite remember their first introductory video, what most of them said, and most of them either mentioned atarodo or this other pepper. The only person I remember clearly mentioning that she was coming to serve the tatashi pepper was Messi, and I have a video to back that up. And I remember she actually said that because tatashi hits different, or when it hits you, you can tell it has hit you. So for that, I remember for a fact that Messi did say she was coming to serve tatashi, and I think she did serve it. And Omashola was asked if why tatashi, and then he gave that same explanation I just gave. But in your opinion, do you think the others also served tatashi as Messi did? Just leave your comments in the comment section, and let's continue our gist.
If I was to be a pepper, I would be tatashi. You all know what they say about Tatashi.
So after Omashola's explanation, the housemates actually did not agree with him for saying he was Tatashi. They didn't think he was. Moving on, Ebuka asked about their story auditions, but before that, he congratulated Messi AK for winning Big Brother Naija 2019. Whoop, 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 whoop. First female winner. Yep. Everybody clapped except someone, but I'm not going to mention names. Moving on, so a lot of people shared their stories. Joe, Avala, Diane, Ella, Tacha, Messi, to mention a few. And Ebuka went on to ask Messi how many times exactly she had auditioned. And she responded by saying she had auditioned 4 times. It had me turned down, but was accepted the 5th time. And Ebuka went on to ask again why she kept coming back. And she said she felt like she was supposed to be in the house and she wanted to win, so she kept coming back, and she felt her breakthrough was through Big Brother Naija or Big Brother Africa. Wow, if most of us had such insights, like, you know that this is your breakthrough, so you're not going to back down, you're not going to cry and say that I give up, oh God, why? I learned persistence, I won't lie, because it takes a confident and humble and persistent someone to actually go for an audition 5 times to the very same place, because a lot of us would have given up. Let's not lie, let's not start forming. A lot of us would have, but I appreciate the fact that, you know, she didn't, and she's able to say her story, and that's always amazing to hear. And also Ebuka asked Tacha her experience, and she said the very first audition she had it at Port Harcourt, but she was turned down, so she went to Enugu the same night, and fortunately for her, she got picked. But in between the question, Ebuka asked her if she had seen the video that was trending about her, because she was mocked during the auditions, and she said she had actually seen it later. But then for her, she got into the house, and whoever was taunting her was outside the house, and the person watched her for 3 months. So for her, that was a plot twist, and that was a good comeback. I must say, that was like a very, very, very good comeback. So Ebuka asked Esther what being real meant, and she said being real meant staying true to yourself, at the same time playing the game as much as you can. So Ebuka now went to ask Sheyi whether using his family name during the show was a blessing or a curse. And Sheyi went on to explain that it was a little bit of both, and for him, he felt that it was a 50-50 thing. Sometimes it was good for him, sometimes, you know, it was, yeah. And then also there was a question about who they felt did not have any business being in the house, or who was a bit laid back in the house. And Joe said Esther. Nelson said Thelma himself and Cindy. Avala said Jackie. Elozanam said Jackie. Thelma said Jackie. Jackie said there was a perfect blend. She felt everybody deserved to have been in the house. Or Mashallah said everybody deserved to have been in the house. Tasha said she thought everybody did their best and deserved to have been in the house. Jeff said everyone. Venita, everyone. Shei said he felt like Diane had no business in the house. Kim said Diane and Sadi. Shei also said he felt Ike didn't bring his A game. Esther felt Thelma. And then Ella also felt Cindy did not deserve to be in the house because she didn't bring her A game. So Ebuka went on to ask Jackie why her name came out the most, and she said that she felt she was dominant and she felt she played herself the best way she could, and that was the script she wanted us to see. She also went on to say that her goal for coming to the house was not basically to get the money, but to be noticed as the tech queen, and she got that and she was fine with that. So Ebuka also went on to ask Thelma what she felt about Esther saying that Thelma didn't deserve to be in the house. And Thelma's response was that, well, she feels like Esther rather should not have been in the house, but at the end of the day, Thelma got into the house, and that's that. Nice answer, girl. So Shay then mentioned, Shay was also asked why Diane. And then Shay said that the Diane after the house is fantastic, and that if that Diane had come into the house when they were in the Big Brother house, no offense to Mercy Eke, she felt that Diane would have been a threat to Mercy Eke. And also, he also felt that Diane was not her true self during the stay in the house, and that Diane was in the shadows of others. I really want us to talk about this. And do you think Shay was fair to have made this statement? Personally, I don't think it was a necessary statement, if you ask me. Especially telling Mercy that, no offense, if they are friends, don't bring any whatever. Let's continue. So Tasha was asked for the characteristics of a winner, and guess what? Finally, we got an answer. She gave an answer, and she said that for her, what she would look out for in a winner would be confidence, a little bit of the looks, and someone who is outspoken. And she felt Venita had, all that. Venita was confident, outspoken, and looked good. And Ebuka now asked Venita if she felt she was an ideal housemate. And Venita answered the question by saying yes, she felt she was an ideal housemate, but she felt she appealed to a particular niche or a particular few, and for her that was okay because she appealed to the single mothers who were, taking care of their kids, who looked pretty, but people didn't know how, deep down things were for them. She also went on to say that she came to the house broken and had to relearn her strength and her weakness, and that was nice to hear. Also, Ebuka asked Tasha whether she knew about people saying that she was playing the T-Boss and CC script, and her response was that she didn't even know that was what was going around, and that she was too original to act like another person. She was real 101%. And she also went on to say that that was her first time of hearing that she was being compared to T-Boss, of course, who she loves, and this other person that was CC. And I felt like you could have just mentioned Cece's name. Come on, girl. So Ebuka now went on to ask who did the most for highlights in the house, and then most housemates called Mercy, Tasha, or Mashallah. And Tasha went on to say that she didn't think anyone consciously tried to play the highlights card. She felt like there were too many cameras for people to do that. And Ebuka went on to ask her if she was being sarcastic because he didn't believe that answer. Venita says she believes she served some highlights, and I sure think she did. Like she came in hot. Ebuka asked Mercy why she has always called herself the queen of highlights, and this was Mercy's answer. She simply said, If Messi AK coughs, it is highlight. Oh my God. Well, it's COVID-19, so don't cough now, dear. But I definitely stand a very, very, very confident queen. And also, she made notes that she could not afford not to give highlight, because at the end of the day, whether she got into trouble or whether she won something, it was still highlight for people. And she felt that, yeah, she deserved to be called the queen of highlights. So Ebuka went on to ask Omashola if he had come to the house to play the Ife card. And Omashola said he had actually never watched the show before, but he actually knew who Ife was. Omashola also went on to say that he was a nice guy until Ike stole his coins, and that unleashed his shouting voice. But naturally, he's a very nice guy. That's what he said. And he also said that he felt the viewers needed the highlights and entertainment, and that was the reason why they were in the house. So he didn't see why people would go under the duvet and not give the people the highlights they paid for. So basically, this was what you missed for episode 2 of the BBN reunion. It had a lot of highlights, or recap, if I should put it. It had a lot of recaps, but basically, yes, this is what you missed. And I'll be bringing you episode 3 in a bit. Enjoy.